Well, just a quick update from my channel tonight. As most of my viewers, or regular viewers actually know, I respect Rachel Maddow's show, her comments or whatever, although I sometimes tend to disagree with her, and her take on the healthcare debate in the recent few videos is actually a case in point. Basically, I totally disagree with Rachel on that point. It's not some sort of a milestone in terms of some huge breakthrough, of any kind. In fact, it's quite the opposite. And so, while I respect Rachel and her opinions, that's all nice and fine. On this point, I completely disagree. Not because that I don't agree with universal health care. I do. That's what I want. I want a combination of a single payer system which can work with a combination of a program like Medicare for All and private industry. This is precisely what's going on and is working very well in France, in Germany, and many other countries. So it's not a neither nor proposition. What we have now here on the table in terms of the healthcare bill is a ruse. It is a huge giveaway to insurance companies, and it is basically selling the American people out for profit by the insurance companies. So I don't consider this a bit good. I do not consider this a good bill. So even the bill in the House was supplemented by the Senate, which is far more conservative than the House, I might add, is not going to bring about any kind of reform or change to the basic system. So I should say, I would say, let this bill go down in flames. It is no good. It should not pass. And I would argue for, let's start from scratch, because a bad bill is not preferable to not doing anything. In fact, a bad bill could make things worse. It may not mean a jump start to something better. In fact, it could make matters much worse than what they already are. Namely, entrenching the very status quo that most Americans are vehemently against. So, on that note though, and I do have to agree with some of the stuff on Rachel's show, and that was her stance against corporate slavery. This is something, whether you are on the left or the right of the political spectrum, should be opposed by all people of all nations, because it is a travesty. You know, David Sirota broke a story which Rachel Maddow recounted in her recent broadcast, which came from an internal business publication, basically a trade publication for international business. These kinds of publications are not designed for the average person. They're not to be viewed by the average viewer. They are essentially internal. And thanks to the internet, some of these deliberations have become public. And this is precisely what the business elite, the global business elite, not just here, but globally, is thinking. Business groups are worried by the potential effects of provisions banning the import of all goods made with convict labor, forced labor, or forced or indentured child labor that were included in the recent customs bill. American business groups are concerned, upset, and worried was the actual phrase. Worried about laws against slave labor and child labor. Business groups across the globe are worried that they cannot use that labor due to regulations of any kind. So this is what we've come to, and it's now been finally publicized and out in the open for everyone to see. Business sources say that it could cause DHS, Department of Homeland Security, to actively seek out imported products made with child labor, forced labor, or convict labor. Sources conceded that this was a very sensitive issue because business groups do not want to be seen as opposing direct measures guarding against human rights abuses. Oh no, they don't want to be seen in that way. They never want to be seen in that way. So I'm guessing that international business interests are okay with something like this being discussed with their subscriber base in the international business community, because these discussions are taking place internally. And those who expose it are vilified as conspiracy nuts, or as socialists, or as communists, or as traitors, to bring up the issue of the exploitation of people for profit all across the globe. We are the ones speaking out against it who are to be prosecuted in the realm of the international business press, and soon to follow the popular press, because we all need to follow the leadership in unison, because presumably our interests are not large enough to count. Our lives are to be viewed as numbers, statistics, toiling away for, I suppose, with an increased lifespan in the West for, 76 years or so, in order to serve those who want to build their own private little islands and mansions elsewhere. I'm not okay with that. Are you?